The best clients I've ever worked with, the ones who came prepared, who trusted my advice, who referred me to everyone they knew, almost none of them came from cold calls or paid leads. They came because they already knew who I was, they'd seen my content, they'd watched how I showed up, and they chose me before I had to pitch myself. And today I'm going to show you how to build that kind of brand so that happens in your business. And if this topic resonates, hit subscribe. I put out real practical content for agents to create predictable income on repeat year after year. And if you want to build your brand and business strategy, my link's in the description below. I provide one-on-one coaching. You can book a free Calendly call or DM me on Instagram at PK Residential and we can chat further. So a personal brand, it's not your logo, it's not your profile or palette, it's not your polished Instagram feed. Your personal brand is the answer to this question. When someone thinks about you as an agent, what do they think? Do they think of someone who knows a specific market? Do they think of someone who's honest, who has integrity, someone who fights hard for their clients? Someone who shows up consistently and adds value, someone who's knowledgeable, or someone who's a fun time. It looks like it's a blast to work with them. That impression built over time through everything you say, everything you post, all your success stories. And the good news, that's your brand. That's where you're already building it and you're already intentional about it. It's just who you are as a person and how you handle your business. And the question is whether you're building the brand you want. I had a client reach out to me and I met her at an event. She ended up following me on social media. She saw my post, saw how committed I was to the craft of the listings, saw how I took care of it and how important it was to have a specialized agent in the market. And she reached out to me, said, hey, I know you talk about how important it is to have the right agent behind you and advocating for you in a home sale. I want to work with you. And that is everything that you want to achieve through your brand. You want people to not take any interviews. You want them to call you up when they're ready and get their listing on in 2 weeks. So how do you do that? You need to be clear on who you help and how you help them. And this requires clarity. You need to know and be able to state clearly who it is you help and what makes working with you different. You're not just gonna say, oh, I help buyers and sellers in the Phoenix area. That's every real estate agent. You gotta be specific. Who is your ideal client? What stage of life are they in? What problem are they trying to solve? And what do they care about? And what makes you the better person over another agent? Because when you are clear on this, your content becomes hyper-focused and your conversations are going to be sharper and people actually want to work with and start recognizing themselves in what you put out. And pillar 2 is showing up consistently with that brand. Consistency is the foundation of every strong personal brand. It's not perfection. It's that consistency. 1 to 2 valuable pieces of content per week. If it's market updates or tips for buyers or sellers in your price range, behind the scenes of how you work, your honest take on what's happening in the market right now. Every piece of content that you put out is a deposit into your brand account and it builds trust with people who may have never met you. Keeps you top of mind with your sphere and it creates that social proof that over time makes buyers and sellers who look you up or who follow you feel like they already know you before you even have a conversation. So remember in these situations that done's better than perfect. Start with your phone, start this week. Start curating your brand if you don't feel like you have one already with who and how. And let your clients tell a story. Testimonials are one of the most powerful branding tools you have and most agents underuse them. After every closing, you should be asking your client to share their experience and give a Google review, a video testimonial if they're willing to, and a quote that you can share on social media. And then actually share those testimonials. Post them, put them in your listing presentations, feature them on your website, and let your past clients speak for you. There's nothing better than someone who had an experience with you because that word of mouth has always been the most trusted form of marketing. When your client says, Payton fought for us and got us $50,000 over asking price, that is worth more than any ad you could ever run for yourself. And you have to be a real person and not just a marketing campaign or a marketing account. This is one that most agents miss because they try to create such a polished professional brand and they end up creating something that feels like a billboard and not a person. And in such an intimate business, you have to show who you are and how your personality comes through in your brand as well. Because people don't just connect with the logos, they connect with the people, they connect with the stories, and they connect with someone who shares real perspective and real vision for their business business and how much they care. So share your wins, but also share the lessons that you learned, share what you love about your work, what drives you, and let people into your world a little bit, because the more real you are, the more trustworthy you become, and that trust is what converts those followers into clients. If you're thinking, well, I'm not a content creator, that's not me, totally get it. You don't have to be a content creator. You just have to be a communicator, and you already are one. Every time you explain the market to someone, every time you tell someone what to expect in the process, anytime you answer a question with real expertise, that's all content. So take what you already know and share it and post it. One video, one market update, that's enough to start building something real. And the best clients come to you when your brand speaks for you before you even pick up the phone. So get clear on who you help, show up with value consistently, let your clients tell the story, and be real. Be a real person and not a marketing account. Build your brand, because it's one of the few things in your business that compounds over time, and it belongs entirely to you. You own your brand. You are your own business. And if you want to build a brand and a content strategy that actually works in this business, then let's talk. Book a free call. I'm with my Calendly link below, or find me on Instagram at PK Residential on Instagram or Facebook, and let's build.